Right, it's Uncle Joe Hikes. We are at the end of Tate City Road because we are going to do something that I believe is called the Deep Gap Creek Trail. Or this is a trail that will run us up to Deep Gap on the AT. And I'd heard of this trail, did a little bit of reading on it. And this takes us right into the southern Nantahala wilderness. And there is a loop you can do. I was just talking to these guys down here who did the Beach Creek loop, which I hear is pretty tough. And they told me up here the trail's going to split, but going up to Deep Gap is really steep. But we're going to do it. It's not going to be a very long trip by any means. It's probably just a few miles up here to Deep Gap. But supposedly it's real steep, so we're gonna see. We just got here to the split, it looks like. Deep Gap Trail. So we go that way, and I guess that's the Beach Creek Trail. So this is the split they were talking about. Yeah, you hike up this wash for a good bit. I think this was an old roadbed maybe at one time. But anyway, there's gonna be a lot of rock. And you gotta navigate across this creek crossing now. Water's running pretty good too, so here we go. Up here the trees have just begun to bud. I mean, they've just got their first little leaves on, I should say. So at this altitude, it's only been a week or so since it started to turn green. Now we'll be coming back up here in about 3 weeks to hike Deep Gap along the AT, coming from Dix Creek and over to Mooney with some friends. So by then, should be a lot of greenery. Should be a little thicker. So yeah, that to look forward to. Yeah. There are some blazes here along the trail. They're kind of old. They're blue blazes you can follow. So keep that in mind. Hopefully the camera will pick that up. Really cool. Looks like we might be getting into that steep stuff we heard about. Only one way to go. A little rock there with a little hole in it. Maybe a bit of a cave right there. You can imagine the bear might hibernate there. We're still going up this wash. Trail is kind of meandering back and forth through it. Lots of new growth. Pitching up a little bit here too. Part of this is where some burn, I think, came through a couple of years ago. You may recall. This may have been part of the Patterson Gap or the Mooney Gap fires. So you have to watch for your blazes because you're kind of walking into the creek, a small runoff, if you will. Keep an eye on your blazes. That's all you can really do. I think I hear somebody coming too, so not alone out here. So these guys were in front of me. This is a sketchy little crossing here, but that's the way the trail goes. So see if I can give them a hand, maybe, or offer one. So this is incredibly steep. We got the creek over here. As you can see, I'm about level here, so this is the incline we're going up. And it's real steep. It's pitched up all of a sudden. Would have been a good place for a switchback. Well, here we are. Another creek crossing. This is beautiful. You could see these cascades as you were heading up. Really nice. Well, we finally got some switchbacks. So that's using the term loosely because they don't really flatten anything out. They're more like S's. As you can see, that's what we're dealing with. Not really sure what that is. Several clumps of it on the way up here. We're still climbing. You can see down there. This is really, really steep. They weren't joking when they said it's a steep climb up to the gap. Yeah. So water's running through there like a flume. See it dropping. Finally got up here a little bit and it's not quite so steep. Climb getting here though. Wow, is it beautiful. Gorgeous. There's a crazy tree growing here. Very cool. Yeah, you can see up here the buds on the trees. That's about all there is. Very few leaves, only really tiny leaves. So in the next couple of weeks they'll really start filling out, but the higher you get, the later that happens. So we got some greenery, especially down low. We should be getting to the gap pretty soon. I got a feeling that that V is our gap. Now that's a crazy root system. Wow. Down here in this, getting up here closer and closer to the gap, but somebody said they thought there might be an old homestead site. And this kind of looks like it could have been at one time. I don't know. Seems a little bit cleared out. These root systems here along the ground. So you see that from like oak maybe and different dark woods, but it's weird to see it with these trees, I guess. Some kind of scat. Looked too small to be bear, so. The guy said they camped at Case Knife Gap. Bears came in. Said they had been seeing scat on the trail, around the trail, I guess. And I'd seen a bear, I guess, earlier in the day. Of course, when they made camp, they came into camp looking for food. And said I climbed the tree and was trying to get the bear bag they had hung up. So, no Case Knife Gap for me, man. Stay away from that. So on your way up, you can see this gap here, and you're kind of thinking, oh, maybe that's Deep Gap. Sadly, apparently not, because we make a hard, kind of a hard swinging left. And can it be hard and swinging? I don't know. Anyway, we make a left on this old forest road here. So, guess we got a little bit further to go. That looks unusual too. I'm not sure what that is. Some over here too. I don't know. Check with riding. She'll know. Alright, so that could be our gap up here after all, because the trail comes around and it makes this hook right here. And it could be easy to miss, but you have to look for these blazes, which are kind of faded. But they'll tell you which way we're going. And we're headed back toward that gap. So, looking at Gut Hook, we're just below the gap, so we don't have very far to go. Maybe not a quarter mile. You can see some rock face out there. I believe that's going to be standing Indian up there. We'll be over there. May climb up and summit that tomorrow morning. Have a look around. All that good stuff. Yeah, so this is an old logging road. Our trail's down there winding around. Hope those two fellas, that man and his son, are doing all right. flowers. This up on this open old forest road, logging road probably. All of this was once logged. This is not virgin, old growth, I should say, timber. This was all logged way back turn of the 1900s, early 1900s. And bunch of logging through here. If you go down to Standing Indian Campground, they have a little history kiosk. It tells you a little bit about the history and when it was logged, the school they built for the families that moved here to do the logging. Yeah. Now it's been left to regrow. Though there was some logging when I was here about a year or two ago, coming up Kimsey Creek. I could hear some logging going on just north of here. So I guess they've got some stuff they want to get out, and we're taking some logs out. It's a great time of year. Everything's starting to get green. Starting to look nice. Awesome. Well, looks like we're here. Now, a truck got in here somehow, so must be the place. All right, deep gap. Time for a break. Folks from the AT. All right. So those guys are getting ready to go down to Standing Indian, pick up their car. I'm waiting for that fellow and his son, really, because a little concerned they got here already. Should be any minute, though. May have a shuttler coming here. Alright, we left a deep gap back there, and we're making our way up to the shelter. Lots of roots. We got less than a mile to get there, so it's a little chilly up here. Definitely like low 60s, if that. To be honest with you, it feels pretty good. Coming up that hill, working up my sweat. Some kind of scat. I don't know what kind, but some kind. Scatapalooza. Oh. Sign up ahead. Is this a twilight zone? No. Southern Nantahala Wilderness and the Nantahala National Forest. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Hey man, anytime. Anytime. That's why I'm here. That's what I do. Here we are, Standing Indian Shelter. Been here before. Here we are. Find a place to hang. Well, got everything set up. I think. Got these poles. I had to make this rigging. Got my pull outs for my shelf, my face, my underquilt is on. That's the way it's gonna sleep. You can see under there. Got my overquilt here, my underquilt under the hammock. So I really like how the bars really give me a lot of room. So it's already windy. So I'll have to fasten these doors down. But looks like it's gonna work pretty good. Get my pack under there and I should be alright. Alright. Not too shabby. Well, everybody's got their bear bags hung up. I managed to get 3 people on mine. Thank goodness this guy here threw it over the branch for me, because no way I was getting over that branch. I'd still be throwing it. But I'm a little concerned about my pack being here so close to the door. If it rains tonight, I'm probably going to get wet, but let's just hope it don't rain. I got to come up with a system for that for sure. The other side's sealed off pretty good, but even that can go inside, so we'll just have to see. Yeah, here's a shelter, seen before. This is Patrick and Jason.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, I remember. That never happened. I'd have been like Bob and Tom.
And this is Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe. We got, I can't remember their names, but they came up with me all the way from, most of the way up the trail. And yeah, got a fire. Everybody's getting ready. It's a little chilly.
Pretty busy shelter.
Yeah, a lot going on. We got people camped out in the woods down there. We got a new privy. Sadly, it's closed because the old privy apparently is hideous. So tomorrow should be a very interesting day. Well, big storm last night, but the rigging held up really good. One downside about having this up is it creates a little bit of a shelf for moisture, but it all came off pretty good, all things considered. But yeah, everything's kind of wet. Despite the wind blowing, it's not drying stuff out very well, but I guess it could be worse. I still got a good bit of water on here. Wiped some of it off of my do-rag, but now the do-rag's soaked. But all in all, things held up pretty well. I didn't have any water come into the hammock, so apparently it all gathered here and ran down, which is exactly what you want. Got some moisture on the back of the pack, but nothing too bad. Get my food bag, get some breakfast. All right, leaving the shelter, leaving Patrick and Jason. I don't know his name. Cables. So we're leaving them behind. He didn't throw something at me, so I think he's safe to be on camera. If you're not hiding from an ex or something. But yeah, had a little fire here last night. And storm came in, but it wasn't too bad. Yeah, we're gonna head up to the summit, Standing Indian Mountain. This ground cover is like really prolific through here. It's all over. Thick, real thick. Making our way up to the summit of Standing Indian Mountain. Starting to lush up. Well, zigzagging our way up to the summit. A little chilly. I'm getting warm climbing. The air is cool though. I guess makes it a good mix. But yeah, you can see where the burn came through. I think this may be our last switchback before we hit the summit, but we'll see. You always hope. That was not the last switchback. But I remember now, we actually come up to this false summit. I have to ridge hike over to Standing Indian. But got a little bit of a view. We'll make our way along. A little windy. You can see these low-hanging clouds starting to burn off a little bit maybe. Alright, we're up here at the summit. We got a water trail right here. This split, just you could take that up to the summit, or you can go over here and do another split. We're gonna get to this marker where the lower ridge trail turns off, and then make our turn. We've been here before a couple of times, done this trail up and down. Lower ridge trail. This is the way to the summit. You can see the sign, Standing Indian Mountain. Let's get up there and have a look. Clouds are rolling in and off and on. Hopefully we get a view. And we're at the top. Got some campers here. And a fire. No view. Oh well. Okay, the fellows were not at their tents. They had gone down to get some water. Had two big old dogs. Came down the trail toward me. I'm like, these are nice. And they were real nice dogs. They said they got wet up here, and one guy in the hammock got wet. He had to double up in the tent. Yeah, so kind of sucks. But they got a view yesterday, they said last night, so that's cool. Of course, I come down off the mountain, it starts clearing up. There it goes. We'll get more views there. We've gotten views there before, so it's not the end of the world. Just left the shelter again, stopped and took a break and filtered some more water. Heading down now to Deep Gap. And we'll make our way down the Deep Gap Creek Trail and work our way to the house. We're on the footbridge here, almost to the gap. Be right down the bottom of this hill here in just a few minutes. Wind still blowing. It's chill to it, but I feel good in this t-shirt. You know, not too cold at all. Back at the gap. Windy. Real windy. I'm gonna cinch up my shoes and keep rolling down that way. I heard that same noise when I came through here yesterday, and it sounds like some sort of a bird or something, but I think it's a couple of trees rubbing together. You can still hear it back there. We made our way across the double track up there, and we're made that big U, so we're headed down this second section here. So we've come off of here, made a U, switch back. We're coming back a V, I guess. Anyway, switch back down, and then this will become more like single track here in a little while. Nice little spot. Thought I heard somebody ahead of me. Maybe they're heading down like I am. Clearly they're not coming this way, or I'd have seen them by now. We're back at this cascade here. I thought I had read that there was a waterfall on here, on this trail somewhere, but I haven't really seen what I'd call a bona fide falls. But this creek is going to drop significant elevation just as we are, so it's going to be a lot of stuff like this. Kind of out of reach and out of sight though, and all of that vegetation, but you can see it running. Okay, so this is about level with me right now. And that's what I got to descend down. So, pretty steep. You can see down there the ground. a little concerning because it looks fresh enough. There's actually a couple of flies there when I approached it. So, looks like bear scat. Yeah, that bear scat looked pretty fresh back there, so I thought there might be a chance to see one on this trail. It's not trafficked as much as the AT. So, I don't know, let's see. So you basically have the confluence of a couple of creeks here. It's really beautiful. That bear scat was right up around that corner, so looks like maybe one came through here. Maybe this morning. I didn't see it there yesterday. I think I would have noticed. Beautiful place. Coming off that descent back there was hard. It's one of the hardest things I've done on a hike. It was really steep coming down. I'm surprised my legs feel as good and not as sore as they could. So that's good. That's a blessing. I was really thinking I was going to be suffering by the time I got down to this point. But so far, so good. All right, we'll be at the car soon. Some more scat. I don't know exactly what it is. It's a little bit smallish. I don't know if somebody's got a dog there. That didn't really look like or smell like dog. I don't know. All right, here's a turn off to Betty Creek, I think. We keep going down. That's part of the loop those guys did yesterday. Getting closer, getting closer. Low down to get over, but man, what a spot. It's gorgeous. You can tell we've come down in elevation. There's a lot more green. The trees have a lot more green in them. We've come down from the gap. So much more plush down here. It's making its way up there though. We're getting close. In fact, there's the trailhead. Like somebody tried to make them a teepee down there. So I guess that's officially the Deep Gap Trail, not Deep Gap Creek Trail or Deep Creek Gap Trail. However many different ways I said it besides Deep Gap Trail were wrong. So tough hike. Really steep. I don't really recommend it. Hats off to that guy and his little boy, because his little boy stuck it out, which was just great. But it is tough little climb getting up there. But yeah, and there's old Red waiting. I don't know if they got the same storm down here that we did, but he might have got wet last night. Deep Gap Trail to the AT to Standing Indian Summit and back. Done.